Welcome to the channel, everyone. Now today I have a very exciting Scum 0.95 and beyond news and updates video for you all. So let's jump straight in and see what the devs have been doing for us all. Okay, so this patch is quite a large one, so let's get through the boring bits first with bug fixes. And they've fixed issues where flamethrower could shoot through solid objects, where you could not repair wheelbarrows, where spawn infantry full of command would cause a crash, where you could hide chests in some BB elements, where puppets would pop into existence on Volusia airfield, where wardrobe could be placed on some BB elements when it should not be possible, where game would crash when exiting the game, task failed successfully, where the M249 would lose its paint in some cases, where bicycles generated noise when stationary, where planes would receive no collision damage when flying into sentries, where joining events audio would spam the sound to everyone, puppet spawns that would cause puppets to spawn in front of players, where batteries would get destroyed when placed in chargers, where players could move through narrower passages on bicycles that would be impossible on foot, where players would slide sideways when sitting and strafing at the same time, where door protection items would disappear on server restart, where door ownerships would sometimes switch to other players, and where doors would sometimes replicate incorrectly. So a whole host of bugs there. Now obviously there are going to be some smaller types of bugs that they have been doing over the weeks that they won't list here because they are very minor. Obviously they're going through the main ones and obviously the main concerns from players that have been reporting. So it's nice to see that they are working on this. There's a few in here that have been major bug fixes, so that is always great to see. So other than this, they have included a lot of quality of life additions, and these include show zombie location command now works as an on-off toggle, reduced dial lock FP penalty on failed attempts, adjusted some crafting recipes, all cars now have functional dashboards, flags can now only be placed on the ground, chest infantry is now automatically closed if squad access level is changed, the chainsaw will now lose durability with each use, added server setting for allowing players flags on BB elements, mechs no longer receive melee damage, reworked loot spawners in Zalaja airfield, added new command map teleport where after entering it you can click on the map and you will be teleported, increased the number of possible custom zones from 25 to 100, adjusted trader prices, implemented a new encounter manager low player count mode, designed for single player with increased threat zone sizes and increased character spawn count per zone, needs to be enabled in the server settings. You can now specify type of vehicle when using destroy all vehicles please by adding the BP name, example destroy all vehicles please BBC Rager will destroy all Ragers. Destroy all vehicles now properly shows how many vehicles were destroyed when activated, and the beard and mustache sliders are now properly named separately on character customization menu. So lovely to see those quality of life additions coming into the game as well. But let's get through the more interesting parts now, shall we? So as you can see now, we have Rager armor parts. We have the light armor on this Rager and the heavier armor on this Rager. Now this does affect the vehicle itself. Obviously the heavier armor will decrease your handling of the vehicle. The light armor won't so much. So you have to make a hard choice. Obviously you can run this thing, as they say, like a brick, or have a bit more speed and a bit more handling with the lighter armor, but obviously it's less effective. As you can see, the windows are still viewable from the sides, whereas on this one they're not. So the armor is a lot better on the heavier side than the lighter side, but obviously your choice, you pick and choose how you like. I've just done a little bit of a paint job on these just to give them a bit of an extra touch. But that is pretty much it for the Ragers. They have been obviously upgraded now on the modular side of things for armor, which is great news. So I've just hopped into a Rager quickly because I do want to show you something. Just get out of the area so I don't start crashing into things there. Now this is with the heavier armor. Now don't get me wrong, the handling is obviously a little bit worse than if you didn't have the armor on, but it's not bad at all. You know, it's not completely restricting you to turn, it's just a bit slower with the turn. Alright, so it's not too bad. But the main thing I wanted to show you guys is we now have working dashboards. Alright, so it's a bit hard to see in here because of the wheel, but as you can see the fuel level is very high at the moment because obviously we've got a lot of fuel. But if we start accelerating, as you can see, the rev counter goes up, as well as the speed counter, which is nice. You know, it's little details like that in games that I do enjoy. You know, the little 1%ers that make a world difference. And you know, most of the time you're probably not even going to notice it, but it is nice to see that they have implemented it as well. Now, another thing that was included with this patch are an upgraded binocular system. So usually we had binos and they were just like this. We'd usually just take them to sell or something. They weren't really any use to us. But now, if you use your middle mouse button while looking through, you can actually zoom this 3 different levels, which is lovely to see because we can actually see quite far off now into the distance, whereas before, not so much. So, moving on now to the RAID protection system that is now in the game. It is now possible to set up RAID protection on your server and with multiple options as well. Okay, so there are 3 options. There is none, no protection whatsoever. As you can see on the screen here, you have RAID protection offline and RAID protection flag specified. Now, with the flag specified, all it means is that you choose when you go offline and when the RAID protection starts by going up to your flag and using the flag. Alright, pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to go through all the settings themselves, but as you can see on the screen, the settings are there in your features under RAID protection. Alright, so have a play around with it, see what it's like. It is nice to see that this feature is finally in, because offline raiding was a massive issue, but it is nice to see that they finally got some form of RAID protection in the game. Now, if we move on to squad probation, they've also included another setting which is up and running now, and it says we've been aware of the misuse of alt accounts and multiple squads to circumvent some of the balancing features. To combat this, we've implemented squad probation setting, leaving a squad will now not go without penalties. When leaving and rejoining a squad, will be placed under probation. While in probation, you will not be able to create a new squad, access squad-based assets such as lock chests. Your membership will not count towards squad perks such as increased BB element count. If the squad members are all in probation and the squad leader leaves, the squad will be disbanded. Okay, so it's lovely to see this as well, because this is going to help a lot with those massive squads, especially those with alt accounts, gaining even more of an advantage in the game. So this is lovely to see. Now, there are settings for this which you can change. Obviously, server settings, look under features, you'll see squad probation there, and you can flick through the different settings there and change them if needed. All right. Now, we do have a new character DLC in the name of Raymond Cruz, and all you get with this is obviously clothing, cosmetics, as well as a pocket knife when you start. All right. So again, DLCs, they're not forced upon you. They're just there if you want to support the development of the game. I have seen people complaining about this already, and what I say to you is,
stop it. Get some help.
Now, other than that, there are some known issues. A bug where cargo drops doors visually will not open, even though you can open the door and enter. A temporary fix to this is relogging after the cargo door is open to fix the visual. Another one is a bug where fishing rod will visually still be collapsed when equipped from the back holster slot. Now, there was a shadow patch this morning when I opened my computer. Steam downloaded a shadow patch, so they may have fixed one of these already, or both of them. I have not tested this yet, but again, if you do come across any bugs whatsoever, there's a link down in the description for their dedicated website. Just report the bug over there to help them out a bit more. Usually we do find some bugs after these big patches or bigger updates, so it will help them out get these resolved quicker. Alright, that is pretty much going to be all from me today. I hope you did enjoy the video and got something out of it. Now, I just want to give a quick shout out to our channel members. I want to say thank you very much for your excellent ongoing support. It's always appreciated. And remember, if you want to join them, you can do. Head over to the channel, hit that join button and see what perk suits you best. It all goes back into the channel and gives you all a better viewing experience. But of course, if you want to support me in another way, you can do simply by liking, subscribing and hitting that notification bell, and that way you'll stay up to date with all the latest Scum news, guides and other content just like this over on the channel. Until next time, see ya.